So Maeve, I am so excited to have you, here on the show and to talk to you about your time and I Can See Your Voice on Fox. And so I started watching it and some people just have, just amazing talent. And when you started singing California Dreaming, I was like, oh my God, like I got the chills. I thought it was so good. I'm glad that we're able to chat today.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. That was so sweet. Yeah, I started off singing when I was a little girl. My grandmother taught me everything there was to know about music. I mean, we couldn't necessarily fit singing into the schedule. My mom was a single mother working full time, and my grandmother was my caretaker during the day. My mom was one of 9, so her brothers and sisters would step in too. But my grandmother would have me like listen to all these greats like Etta James and Bernadette Peters, and that was how I got my training. So that brought me to Idlewild Arts Academy in 2016, where I started just working as a lifeguard. I figured being at an arts campus and in this arts atmosphere would be only helpful to me, even if it was like for a part-time job. So I went up there for the summers and I would stay there. They had like lodging because it's a full-time art school during the year where kids go and board. So while I was working there, I would notice that during my shifts, a lot of time I would be like idly sitting around, like waiting for kids to come to the pool in between activities. So I'd start singing. And then when the kids got there and would hear me singing, they'd be like, sing some more. So the kids would call me the singing lifeguard. And it just so happened that like Idlewild has carried me through so many things. Like it's brought me so many wonderful connections and like bridged this amazing gap between what I Can See Your Voice was looking for and what I've actually done and am super passionate about. I just love being up at camp, and working there was a dream. So to be able to take that with me to the show was like awesome. I loved that.
Yeah, I can imagine. But then when you were singing, how did it feel when the judges were like, I don't know, it's awkward, or she didn't seem so disciplined, and whatever they said? Was your heart dropping at that point?
I think so much of the show has to do with like looks can be deceiving. So I know like at first, my first thought was like, oh my God, what have I done wrong? But then, I look back to vocalists like Adele and like, I don't know, there's just not everyone is coming to mind, but like so many people like are able to just stand on stage and like blow people out of the water. And I was like, no pun intended.
Right.
But I was like, there's so much that you can't distinguish from somebody like lip syncing. So how much greater will that surprise be if they're assuming instantly like, oh, she can't sing? Like, I don't know. It was this kind of like glorious moment to be able to go up there and be like, ha, just kidding. Like, got you guys. So I loved every second of it, even when they were not so sure of what my deal was.
Right, because you knew that you were gonna like blow them, like you said, out of the water. So what happened afterwards? Did anybody contact you afterwards? Did any of the judges say anything like, wow, we can't believe it? Like, did you have any private conversations?
No private conversations, but the outpour from people who watched the show was so magnificent, and like so many kind people have like taken the time out of their day to tell me that this made an impression on them. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters to me. But honestly, like what has been the biggest blessing for me throughout this whole thing has been collaborating with the Secret Voices. We worked on a project all together that I music directed and vocally directed and arranged. It was an arrangement of Auld Lang Syne for New Year's. And from that, Ken Jeong was like so complimentary, and he was so kind, and they've were reposting it on all the socials and everything, and all of the judges as well were super super sweet when it came to that as well. Their tweets and stuff during the show were like, oh my God, like we were surprised, and that was sweet enough for me. But to work beyond the show and form connections and then have that be recognized by people whose opinions like I do value, and because the show was so special to me, was like even sweeter than I could have imagined. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. They're so nice.
Yeah, no, that's good. So when you say the Secret Voices, that means all the people that were on the show with you, you collaborated on something?
Yeah. I really had just a serious interest in getting to know everybody who I worked with. Like, I think the pandemic has made me feel like it's so hard to branch out and meet new people. So I wanted to get in touch with all of these amazing, talented vocalists that showed up on the show and be like, how was this experience for you guys? Like, let's do something. What a wonderful built-in network that this show has created, and a family, to be quite honest. Yeah. So getting to know them and having that life beyond the show as well was incredibly special. And they're all, like, as you can probably imagine, such wonderful people, every single one of them. So,
yeah. And it gives people an opportunity to kind of, just have a national platform to showcase their talent, whereas you might not have had that before. So that's the cool thing about it.
Definitely. Yeah. And what's fun is that everyone is from different places. I mean, not everyone is from Los Angeles. So getting to branch out and, like, work with someone who's in, like New York or Nashville, like, yeah. Whereas right now it's hard to bridge those connections. Like, what Ken Jeong has done with this show has, like, really created a wonderful and beautiful environment. And I think that the difference between this and, like, another reality competition show would be that, like, there's no competition here. We're all here for one goal, and it is ultimately help someone win money. So it creates this camaraderie among everybody, which I just love.
How hard is it to just be, like, stoic and not make a face? Like, because I know.
It was so difficult. I think that was the hardest part. And honestly, like, I wear glasses. These are my specs that I have right now.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not wearing these. I'm not trying to give away the fact that. I just wanted to see nothing. So I would, like, blank out and, like, stare at a light and just, like, wait for things to happen. And when I hear things happening, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm freaking out inside. I was always nervous. My mouth was quivering. I was like, someone's going to see me break. Oh no.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. So what's in store for your future?
I am working on some music, some fun arrangements with, like, Mike, the wedding singer from I Can See Your Voice, and with The Night, Julian, who I'm extremely close with both of them. So it's a dream working with them. Wow. And that's the best part too, is that they all are so well trained that it's not like I have to, like, teach anyone anything. Like, this is so cool. But yeah, just a lot of music and creativity, just trying to stay busy. I mean, it's hard to find outlets and pockets to do those kind of things, so I feel lucky.
Do you watch any reality TV?
Reality TV has always been something that I, like, find joy in, and I think this, like, game show reality pseudo type, like, thing was such an interesting jump from anything I'd really suspected. Before I signed on to do I Can See Your Voice, I was in between that and The Voice, and I picked I Can See Your Voice because it was a newer
concept,
more unknown thing. Yeah. And I wanted to be there to experience it and see what it was about. And, like, to be involved in that was so wonderful. And yeah, but that, needless to say, I do love reality TV. I'm not, like, super close with anybody in that world. But it's just so cool to be part of for, like, even a second.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I like that you came from humble beginnings, and, and like you said, that was your training, but it was really, like, learning and singing from all the greats when you were younger. Who do you look up to now? Is there someone that you think is, like, an excellent singer or performer, like, in today's generation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll constantly reference Adele just because I think her voice blows my mind. Mm-hmm. And if there's any sort of, like, career trajectory, I would love, something along those lines. Or, like, I look at Ariana Grande, who got her start in musical theater and then was able to, like, bridge the gap between that and this sort of, like, pop stardom. And growing up, I did community theater all the time, and my roots really are in that, like, collaborative thing.
Are you a dancer?
I am, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, Broadway has always been, like, calling my name. So I think that's something I want to experience in this lifetime. But as far as, like, a career model, I look at Rachel Bloom, who did Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And, she's, like, boss lady, like, produced, directed, starred in her own show. And I think that ultimately my goal is to dip my hands in everything. Like, I love this industry. I worked as a reporter prior to, like, really going for this vocal career and doing producing and directing. So, like, I just want to learn everything and be involved in everything. And if there's a way I can put all of my passions into one big project, like, that would be the goal ultimately.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, listen, I hope you come here to the East Coast, then we can hang out. Okay.
Well, my dream has always been New York, and I will at some point within the next 10 years at least be over there. So as soon as I'm over there, we're grabbing a cup of coffee.
We're doing it. Is there anything else like that people don't know about you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love art in general, as I've stated previously. Like, if there's nothing about it that I don't find joy in. Like, most recently, and by most recently I mean like right before I Can See Your Voice took off and everything, I was getting back into painting and artwork and stuff. Okay. And I was like, it's so weird. I love drawing on pumpkins, not like carving pumpkins, but I love painting on pumpkins for Halloween and for any other holiday. And I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. So I'm in the middle of working on this one right here. It's like a season 3 thing.
Oh, cool.
All the characters looking at the Starcourt Mall. I'm not done with it yet, but I love painting.
So cool. So wait, that's not a real pumpkin though, right?
Totally fake. Thank God. Right? Would they be rotten by now?
That's what I was thinking.
There's something about this canvas though that works so well. My aunt had me do this for her 5th grade class a year ago, and they auctioned off these fake pumpkins for kids to take home. And I realized like I was obsessed with specifically drawing on these. I don't know why. Another thing that I love that I don't often talk about that my boyfriend is actually teaching me to do is how to engineer music and get behind the scenes and figure out how to like work with different voices. He went to USC and did like learned how to do that and has been doing that for a long time.
Well, you guys are a power duo.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I love him so much. He's the best. But the way we met, I'm so sorry. This is like such a tangent, but it's the cutest thing ever. And I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you.
Okay. Yeah. No, tell me.
So I had been called in to audition for American Idol, and I was working a retail job at Alice and Olivia, this store within. Yeah, they had like leased space within a Bloomingdale's, so I worked at their Bloomingdale's storefront.
Okay.
And it was my last day. My mom was like, don't go in, they already know you're leaving. And I was like, no, I love this job. And the girls I worked with were so cool. So I was like, I have to go in for my last day. And I'm standing there waiting for my friend Brenda to come relieve my shift. And this lady walks in with a guy, and she's like, please help me. I need a return. No one is helping me. I don't know where to go. And I'm like, of course, I got you. I'll help you. So I take her upstairs. We process her return. And she's like, thank you so much. I'll see you next time I'm here. And I'm like, psych, no, you won't, because it's my last day. And she says, oh, where are you going? Are you like going anywhere special after this? I said, I'm actually going to audition for American Idol, and I want to focus full time on that. And she points at her son behind her, that guy, and she goes, oh, my son works in music too. I should like connect the two of you. And that's been my boyfriend for over a year now.
Wow, I just got the chills. Isn't that crazy how things happen? You know, just like in the right place at the right time. Wow.
Oh, everything leading up to that, I'm like, imagine if I hadn't done this, or imagine if like I wasn't taking this job or whatever.
Or whatever. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And he actually worked on that I Can See Your Voice New Year's project with us too. So being able to like do something with someone I love so much is like a dream come true.
Wow. Wow, that's a great story. It really is. And I really hope, listen, I've been married almost 18 years.
Oh, congratulations. You're almost at 20. That's so exciting.
Yeah. Well, together 21 years, but married almost 18. So
we love the 21 years. In your marriage years, you can legally drink. That's so exciting.
Exactly.
Or your togetherness years. There we go.
Yeah. So I like that. I like young love. I think it's cute.
Oh, it's so exciting. It is so fun. I love it.
Is there ever a time where you met a celebrity and you completely fanned out?
Oh, 150,000%. Yes. Ryan Gosling, of course.
Okay.
I literally was. So the first time I met him, I was at my friend Dana, who I went to college with, who did all the Despicable Me movies, was going to a SAG-AFTRA thing for The Big Short, which Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell were in. So she knows Steve, and we went and said hi to him afterwards, and Ryan Gosling happened to be there. And I have never been fully speechless, because I also didn't have that much of a crush on him when I watched him. And The Notebook, I was like, oh, he's a good looking guy. But in person, I was like, oh, my heart stopped. So I took a picture with him. And then a year later, I asked him a question during this screening as well. They did a Q&A after. Okay. Afterwards, I saw him at a benefit for scleroderma that Bob Saget was hosting. And I went up to him. This was something that I wasn't a press reporter at. So I went up to him again and I was like, hi, I'm not sure if you remember me, but I met you at the Big Short screening last year. He was like, oh my God. And he rattled off the question I had asked. And I was like, oh my gosh. And we took a picture. He's honestly one of the nicest people ever. And it just makes me love him so much more.
Exactly.
I've had very few instances where someone like disappoints me. I've actually only had one in my entire journalism and reporting career. So like to be pleasantly surprised by someone like that was so nice.
Yeah. No, I bet. I love Steve Carell too. Oh man.
Oh, he's so nice too. Did you know he owns a pharmacy in Rhode Island that him and his family like own? He's from the East Coast, and if you go in there's like a bunch of like office merch. It's really tiny, but sometimes he's working there and he'll always talk to anybody who wants to speak with him about like
nice. Well, I'm glad you and I got to chat at least. You know, this was just a really nice way to get to know you. I know you have big things in your future. And is there any advice that you'd want to give someone that's aspiring to kind of be in your shoes right now?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. I mean, I wish someone had told me this. Like, I thought for sure going to college and majoring in like theater or doing as much music stuff as I can, that would ultimately grant me access into this world that I like so desperately wanted to be part of. And it's just not true, and it's a bummer. But like what I learned is that if you're not going to get something handed to you because it's seemingly like this entryway into the industry, like you have every capability of working for it yourself. And it's so much sweeter when you put in the hard work and then you achieve what you want. Like, I was so desperate for someone to just say like, oh, look at her, like, let's give her a role, or like, let's put her in this thing or invite her to do this. But like, it didn't happen. And for a few years I was like, what am I going to do? And I was so angry that I was like, I really don't have any other choice but to work really hard. And if something comes from me and it doesn't work, then I know that I've got to redirect myself. But you know, I put in the hard work, and even though my path wasn't linear, like it kind of went all over the place, like there was a point where it stopped getting that way, and it started becoming more consistent that like if it came from me and it came from an earnest place, then other people who make art from an honest place in their heart, would want to be involved. And so just surrounding myself with people, like-minded people who wanted to bring beautiful things to life has been like the biggest blessing. I couldn't ask for anything more. And I wish more people knew that they were just as capable. Like, I don't have industry connections. I didn't grow up with anybody who could give me that advice. Like, I had to find it, and it's out there. You just have to work really hard to find it. Just because someone who has that industry connection or that opportunity, doesn't have that hunger, like, and if you can have that over what they have, like, you'll come out on top. It happens all the time. You just have to find it.
Well, thank you so much, Maeve. I appreciate you chatting. And where can we find more information about you?
Oh, thank you so much. You can find more information about me on Instagram at Maeve Riley, M as in moon, A-E-V as in violet, E-R-L-E-Y, Maeve Riley. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
And MaveRiley.com. That's my website. I just made it.
Good. I was going to say, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put it on the screen so people can see it.
Amazing. Thank you.